So I want to see if I have this right. The music majors are here. I don't want to exclude all of you, but we're going to run a little trivia question here, and my guess is if anybody's going to uphold the honor of your graduating class, it's going to be these folks over here. Now, I tried this. We're going to do 4 music trivia questions throughout the charge, and I tried this last night at Health and Human Sciences, and it was embarrassing, I think. Not for me, but for your class. About a couple of weeks ago, the Collegian ran an article that some of you may have seen entitled, "The 10 Best Songs to Graduate To." And I don't know if any of you saw this, but what interested me about it was how old those songs were. The average year that those songs were composed was 1989. Now, most of you weren't born in 1989. A lot of your parents haven't even met in 1989. You were 2 haploid zygotes frozen in meiosis, and whether you were destined to be or not, the philosophy department's not here with us to debate that, so we'll leave that out. But I am a big fan of your generation. Much that you do is inspirational. You have passion, you have commitment, your priorities are in the right place. I think many of us expect great things from you. And yet, there is this disturbing tendency to take music from other generations that really bothers me and worries me that there is some deep-seated career or character flaw that we're not detecting. And so I thought it would be one thing if you had evaluated the music and decided, understanding it, that this was, in fact, the best music in the history of the world, which it was, that my generation came up with. Or if you failed to actually understand it and were just taking it because you liked it, but were kind of lazy and didn't understand it, that would be different. So I have 4 music trivia questions. The oldest song, and we'll give away hats, and I said last night I'm giving away hats for this in part because I have a soft spot for your graduating class. 4 years ago, remember, we sat in Moby at Ram Welcome, and I said in 4 years you'll all be crossing the stage together, and my daughter was with you then, but not now. Something about a victory lap, but so I'm giving away hats partly in her honor and because I hope this gets back to her and kind of shames her into graduating next year. So one of the songs, the oldest song on that list from the Collegian, was from 1969. And it was a song entitled "Here Comes the Sun." And so the easiest trivia question, who composed "Here Comes the Sun"? George Harrison. Oh. There we go. You're off to a wonderful start. And to be fair, I gave credit last night for the Beatles, which wasn't technically accurate. Now, the second question, 1 hat per person. Some exclusions may apply. What album was that song on?
Abbey Road.
Outstanding. Very good. Now, Abbey Road, that album was written by George Harrison, or that song was written after one of the longest, coldest winters, hence the line in the song, "It's been a long, cold, lonely winter," one of the longest, coldest winters on record in England. And he was staying, interestingly, at a house owned by Eric Clapton, and he wrote the song in A major. And it was designed to soar, to be open, to really speak to the future, to optimism, to hope, and hence why it's a good song for graduation. But I don't want to leave any of you with the idea that you have an eternal spring ahead of you free from exams after you leave here, although you may be free from exams. But my generation has left you a long, cold winter of work ahead of you. From Baltimore to Ferguson, from Nairobi to West Africa, from Syria to Nepal, from shrinking global ice caps to expanding urban food deserts, you have a lot of challenges in front of you. But your generation also has 2 things that no generation before you has had. Now, the first of those is a set of tools left by our generation, and in some ways, that's not unique. Every generation takes what the last generation left them, they build upon it, and they leave it for the next generation to build from. But there's a lot that my generation is proud to leave you. A lot that we've built with blood, sweat, wait for it, and tears. Name one song sung by the band Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Nice. Very nice. You are quite simply restoring my faith in humanity. The second thing that you all have going for you is you. You come from a wonderful heritage, a heritage that traces its way back to the desk of Abraham Lincoln and the idea that everyone with talent and motivation should have the opportunity to make the most of themselves. You have talent. You've demonstrated that by your admission to a great American university. You have training. We're rewarding you for that this evening. You have all the intangibles, and you have a set of challenges. Match these up. Make a difference. But to make that difference, you are going to have to leave this room, and that brings us to our fourth trivia question. And this is a song that kind of splits the difference between our generations. It's a song from 1999. There's a free hint. It's a song, Closing Time, and it has a lyric that I have always thought applies just as much to the end of graduation as it does to the end of a night at a bar. Because at the end of this ceremony, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Thank you. Unless, of course, you're going on to graduate school, but that's... So, who wrote the song? I'll give credit for that. Do you know who wrote it? Donald Wilson. 4 for 4. Very well done. By the time we got to that point last night, I was prepared to give credit for the Oak Ridge Boys who had just covered the song. But all right, so this then is my charge to you, members of the 2015 graduating class. Be the sun. Light the path for your generation. And take some time to write your own music. Congratulations.